like clock. I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols, reaming my body.
Alright guys, today I want to talk about some things that we could possibly be looking forward to in regards to a brand new arc in the Boruto manga. The last arc that we did see, which is probably not necessarily completely over, was absolutely amazing. Of course, we got to see Ichigo Otsutsuki versus Naruto and Sasuke. Even Jigen versus Naruto and Sasuke was next level, so I'm pretty sure the next arc of Boruto has to live up to that exact same standard. Now, some of the things that we immediately have to address is probably going to have to be Naruto's health. Is Naruto actually going to be alive? Is Naruto actually going to die? And what's the situation with that? Now, in my opinion, I think that Naruto is not going to die. I stated this for a very long time, but of course we have absolutely no idea. The last chapter of the Boruto manga made it extremely confusing, mainly because Naruto did pass out, but yet we still don't know exactly what the state of his condition is going to be. Now, the next thing is going to be Sasuke's rinnegan. This right here, in regards to the first thing that I did say, seems a little bit super watered down, but relative to everything else, this right here is definitely super important. Sasuke's rinnegan doesn't necessarily make Sasuke an elite ninja. He's going to be an elite ninja regardless of if he has a rinnegan or not. The rinnegan takes Sasuke and puts him on a brand new level. Not only that, of course, Sasuke with the rinnegan can open portals to different dimensions and spy and try to find out exactly what other Otsutsuki members are thinking about and what they could potentially be doing. So of course that's going to be a very important thing. Now, I do think Sasuke is at least going to get another Sharingan. The whole question is going to be, is Sasuke going to be able to manifest, or is Sasuke going to be able to repair his current rinnegan? Now, another huge thing is going to be the acceptance of Boruto, and I'll get into this a little bit later on in this video, but Boruto, in my opinion, is going to be in a very peculiar situation, mainly because when they do go home, I'm pretty sure they're probably going to have to disclose exactly what the situation is with Boruto and momoshiki. Of course, we understand that momoshiki is in Boruto's body and he could potentially take over, and Boruto is at a chakra deficit. Now, I don't necessarily think it's going to be a situation where they force a decision the day that Boruto gets home, but after a bunch of deliberating, I'm pretty sure they're probably going to assume that Boruto is actually going to be a threat to their society. So of course it's going to be a very important thing to look forward to. I don't necessarily expect them to make a decision in the next chapter as soon as Boruto gets home, but of course this right here is going to be something that we do have to monitor extremely closely. Now, another thing is going to be, how in the world did Kawaki get his karma seal? This right here is going to be a very big mystery. Of course, we understand in the first episode and the first chapter of the Boruto manga, Kawaki at a teenage age, he has the karma seal, but as of right now, Kawaki does not have a karma seal, and of course Ichigo Otsutsuki is dead. So if Ichigo Otsutsuki did not give Kawaki the karma seal, then who did? Now, I'm pretty sure you guys know this. I've been saying this for a very long time. I've been saying that there is definitely a possibility of momoshiki giving Kawaki a karma seal, but of course that right there is too easy, so I do want to bring up a different scenario. What if there is actually a new Otsutsuki member that actually does try to acquire the vessel of Kawaki? One of the things that a lot of people aren't necessarily pointing out is the fact that the vessel of Kawaki is going to be a very, and I mean very, very sought after commodity. What we understand is that the karma seal is essentially just to basically reborn into that body, but not only that, we understand that Otsutsuki members, they're basically alive to basically plant god trees and then eat the chakra fruit. And of course you could sacrifice Kawaki to make a god tree, because you do have to sacrifice an Otsutsuki member to actually make a god tree. That's exactly what momoshiki is trying to do at this particular time. Other Otsutsuki members out there might actually understand that and start to go after Kawaki. What momoshiki said in the last chapter is that Kawaki, as of right now, is still 80% Otsutsuki. In my opinion, I strongly doubt that 80% is going to fade anytime soon. It's just a case of how other Otsutsuki members actually find Kawaki. One of the reasons why I think this right here is going to be a little bit less likely is the fact that Ichigo Otsutsuki himself didn't necessarily get caught. When momoshiki came to Earth, and even when Kaguya came to Earth, they didn't really understand, or they didn't necessarily know that Ichigo Otsutsuki was on Earth as well. If they were subconsciously able to sense Otsutsuki chakra, I'm pretty sure they would definitely sense Ichigo Otsutsuki in the body of Jigen on Earth, and they would have basically tried to figure out exactly where he is and what he could potentially be planning. So that right there definitely gives us some sort of hope, but the thing is that possibility right there isn't necessarily 100%. What we understand is that Ichigo Otsutsuki in the body of Jigen was controlling Jigen's movements, which could possibly mean that Ichigo Otsutsuki was intentionally masking his Otsutsuki chakra and having Jigen's chakra, especially when the likes of momoshiki and Ichigo Otsutsuki and Urashiki Otsutsuki did come to Earth. So in my opinion, I think that Kawaki should be good, but we do have to understand that there is definitely a huge potential of another Otsutsuki member potentially coming to Earth, not only for Kawaki but also for Boruto as well. Now, the next thing I do want to talk about, I definitely made multiple videos talking about this topic, but right now I think the possibility is getting a lot more realistic, and it's going to be the situation with Boruto potentially going rogue. Now, earlier in this video I talked about Boruto's acceptance in the Hidden Leaf Village, because Boruto as of right now can possibly be viewed as a threat to not only the Hidden Leaf Village but also the ninja world in general. Here's the thing. If Boruto isn't necessarily deemed as a 100% safe, if Boruto is actually deemed as a threat to society, people will then start to look at the Hokage Naruto in a different type of way if potentially Naruto actually does survive. Because of course, Naruto's going to definitely have a conflict of interest. He's not necessarily going to be viewing the situation as impartially as he should be. The argument that Naruto's going to have, and Sasuke as well potentially, is that if momoshiki actually does take over the body of Boruto, then they could immediately just kill Boruto if things do get out of hand. But there is always going to be that fear that if momoshiki actually does take over Boruto's body in like the dead of night, he could then escape and potentially even destroy all of the Hidden Leaf Village without anybody even knowing anything. So unless Boruto is going to be under 24/7 surveillance from now on, it's going to be a very difficult case to actually make that Boruto isn't really a threat to the ninja world, and especially the Hidden Leaf Village. So if Boruto is viewed as a threat, I'm pretty sure Boruto would probably feel inclined to potentially even flee the Hidden Leaf Village and live his own life. Not only because Boruto would fear for his own life, but also because Boruto wouldn't necessarily bring upon chaos in the Hidden Leaf Village, especially with two of the most strongest ninjas in the ninja world, Naruto and Sasuke, most likely opposing to the idea of treating Boruto as a threat. The thing with Boruto going rogue though is I don't necessarily think that Boruto would probably be your regular or average rogue ninja. I think that Boruto will definitely still have a lot of ties within the Hidden Leaf Village. For example, I think that he'd be in touch with Sasuke a lot. To be honest, I think that Sasuke would potentially even train Boruto while he's actually quote unquote on the run. I think that Boruto would also have a lot of ties with Sada as well. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I think if Boruto actually does go rogue, there is a very high possibility, super high possibility, that Mitsuki is most likely gonna go rogue as well. Mitsuki is just one of those characters that pretty much loves Boruto, and I'm pretty sure Mitsuki would definitely be a very good help wherever he goes, and Mitsuki could potentially be like the first line of defense if momoshiki actually does take over Boruto's body. The only thing though is I'm pretty sure that Boruto is probably not going to have a lot of contact with Naruto. I think that Naruto would 100% try to persuade Boruto to actually come back to the Hidden Leaf Village, even though that wouldn't necessarily be the best for the Hidden Leaf Village. I just think that that would definitely put Naruto in a very difficult position. Not only did his best friend Sasuke go rogue, but now his son would be going rogue as well. But the one thing that we do know for sure is the fact that the next arc of the Boruto manga is going to be amazing. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to absolutely love it as well. I just really hope it lives up to the standard of what the Kata organization arc did actually bring about. Now, in terms of the next arc, there's been a lot of popular theories that's been going around, and of course, I agree with a lot of them. For example, the next arc can most likely be taking place after the time skip, and any of the possibilities that I did talk about in this episode right here could also take place post time skip. In fact, Boruto going rogue could possibly take place during the time skip as well. Like, he could possibly go rogue before it, and the majority of his time spent rogue could actually be during the time skip, and that would definitely build Boruto's character to what we did see in episode 1 and in chapter 1 as well. Now, another thing could actually be the Kata organization. Of course, we understand that the Kata organization, quote unquote, the arc is actually over because Otsutsuki did actually die, which means that their overall goal for Otsutsuki is pretty much done. But of course, we do understand that there are 4 members of the Kata organization that are still roaming around, and those 4 right there could potentially even pose a different threat to the Hidden Leaf Village and the ninja world. So we can't necessarily 100% count them out just as of yet. And in fact, I'm pretty sure they're definitely going to have a very big impact in the future of the Boruto series, even if they're enemies or not. But let me know what you guys think. It's been your boy Baara, and we out.
It's a knife.